All right, welcome back to The Explainer. If you're a medical student or already practicing, you know the drill all too well. Modern medical education, for better or worse, still relies heavily on rote memorization. You cram the facts, you memorize endless lists, and you just kind of hope it all sticks when you're finally standing in front of a real patient. But here's the thing. Clinical excellence isn't just about knowing the right answers. It is entirely about how you actually arrive at them. The core problem we're facing is that standard testing just doesn't reflect the messy, complex reality of critical thinking on the wards. So think about this. What if medical education actually tested your reasoning and not just your ability to regurgitate an answer? That is the exact paradigm shift we're diving into today. We're looking at VibeRounds, which is an AI clinical learning suite built specifically to shift the focus towards Socratic clinical reasoning and deep diagnostic analysis. Imagine having a platform that essentially acts as your own personal, incredibly rigorous attending physician, one who constantly pushes you to defend your logic rather than just spoon-feeding you the diagnosis. To see how they pull this off, we'll take a quick journey through the platform. We're going to cover 1. The AI Foundation, 2. Structured lessons, 3. Real-time simulation, 4. Reasoning analytics, 5. Difficulty scaling, and finally, 6. Tracking and retention. Okay, let's jump right into Section 1, the AI Learning Foundation. Now, you've got to appreciate the flexibility they've built in here. VibeRounds uses this brilliant bring-your-own-AI infrastructure. When you look at the system setup, you have options to connect whatever LLM model provider you prefer. You can literally just plug in an API key for Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT, or even use an OpenRouter-compatible endpoint. It makes the whole platform totally adaptable and future-proof. You aren't locked into one specific AI. You get to leverage whichever intelligence engine fits your specific workflow best. And this leads right into their approach to privacy, which is absolutely crucial. It works with any OpenAI-compatible endpoint, sure, but the kicker is that your API keys are saved strictly in your local browser storage. They are never beamed off to some central server. For a medical community that rightfully guards its data, this secure, local setup is exactly what you want, driving the platform's Socratic learning, case simulations, and automated feedback.
Moving on to Section 2, Structured Clinical Lessons.
Before you can reason your way through a complicated case, you obviously need a solid foundational understanding, right? That's where the lesson bench comes in. Say you're a busy intern. You can type in a specific topic, paste in a full case, or just click Roll a Topic to grab something random from the curriculum bank. You pick your target learner level, set the depth to a standard 600-word lesson, and boom! The AI generates this highly structured, interactive deep dive. It's essentially perfectly tailored, high-yield clinical reading generated completely on demand. All right, Section 3, Real-Time Patient Simulation. Picture this. You're an intern, you're standing in the emergency department, and a new patient rolls in. The Case Simulator bench lets you configure this exact high-stakes scenario. You can set the target specialty, let's say cardiology, dial the difficulty to intermediate, and set the setting to the ED. From there, you're thrust into a real-time, interactive patient encounter. You're ordering labs, asking questions, while your subjective, objective assessment and plan, your SOAP notes, are all persistently tracked in the background. The workflow here is incredibly intentional. First, you configure your practice scenario. Second, you go through a stepwise case reveal, meaning you don't get all the info up front. Just like in real life on the floor, you have to know exactly what to ask for to get the clues. And finally, the system tracks your differential diagnoses and gives you a massive, comprehensive debrief and reasoning trail at the end. It is actively monitoring your logic every single step of the way. Now for my favorite part, Section 4, Deep Clinical Reasoning Analytics. So on the left, we've got the standard case bench entry screen where you might paste a vignette or a discharge summary like, say, a 28-year-old woman with sudden onset chest pain. But on the right, this is where the magic truly happens. This is the CCOS framework lens mode. CCOS stands for Clinical Cognitive Operating System. Instead of just spitting out an answer, it completely breaks down your case using single-pass structured reports. You select different specific lenses through which the AI deeply analyzes your diagnostic reasoning. These lenses fall into two really fascinating categories designed to manage your cognitive load. The first is promption. Think of this as your cognitive scaffolding. These lenses build your canonical illness scripts, walk you through Bayesian probability, and lay out a full diagnostic map. Then we have the provocation lenses, which basically play devil's advocate. This is pure stress testing.
They hunt for clinical cognitive biases, extract your diagnostic anchors to see if you're stuck on misleading info, and even run red herring drills to see if you get distracted by downstream noise. It is just an unbelievably robust way to bulletproof your diagnostic thought process.
Which brings us to Section 5, adjusting learner difficulty levels.
All this dynamic scaling happens right on the level bench. And what's brilliant here is how the platform adapts its challenge to fit you. You pick a starting level, anywhere from L1 up to L6, and you can actually dial this up or down at any time during an active discussion. You're never locked in, so if a case suddenly gets wildly complex, or maybe it's just a bit too easy, you just adjust the dial.
It's really all about how the training wheels come off. At level 1, it's warm, it's exploratory, tangents are welcome, and hints are just freely given. But bump that up to level 3, ward teaching, and you're in full Socratic mode. The AI gives you a hint ladder, but absolutely demands effort before revealing any answers. And finally, level 6. This is a full OSC exam simulation. Total answer withholding, absolutely no softening of the feedback, and the output is a strict, no-nonsense scoring rubric.
And wrapping up with Section 6, tracking progress and retention.
VibeRounds empowers you to track your ongoing mastery through this clinical learning analytics dashboard. You get this fantastic 30-day activity heat map that monitors your study streaks, your total practice hours, total encounters, and the number of diagnostic turns, which basically means the specific clinical prompts and responses you've engaged in. It even meticulously tracks how many SOAP notes you've actively documented.
The dashboard also gives you a breakdown of your specialty engagement. So, for example, a learner might see they have a 50-50 split between general medicine and orthopedics. This visual feedback is a real game changer. It helps learners rapidly spot if they're inadvertently avoiding their weak spots or over-indexing on specialties they're already comfortable with, which lets them perfectly balance their medical focus.
And to prevent that dreaded curve of forgetting, they have paired a saved encounters hub with an automated case-spaced revision system. When you finish a really grueling interactive case, you can just save the encounter, complete with all your SOAP notes and patient history. The spaced revision scheduler then takes over. It ensures those saved cases pop back up for review, maybe in 1 day, 1 week, or 1 month, exactly when you are most likely to forget them. So, what does it take to access all this? Well, the platform tiers are designed to be highly accessible. Level 1 features, which includes the setup, lesson bench, case simulator, case practice, case bench, and level bench, are 100% free forever for all users. No catch. Furthermore, medical faculty and attending educators actually get unlimited Level 2 access, meaning they get the advanced analytics and spaced revision tools totally for free forever. It really is a comprehensive suite that completely flips the script on self-study, bringing that demanding, Socratic nature of word rounds right into your browser. So I want to leave you with this final thought. Are you going to settle for just memorizing the answers, or are you finally ready to truly master the art of clinical reasoning? The tools to build that cognitive scaffolding are out there. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.